say, I know that the Spirit from my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more trouble, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more trouble, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Good morning. Is it on? Okay. Hi, I'm Beverly. Welcome to Unity of Appleton, to you and you online. What I love about Unity is there are no prejudices here, neither who you are, what you are, or what you believe. You belong here in this spiritual community. There's a saying all addictive anonymous groups have, that's take you what you like and leave the rest. Today's talk is a very brief part of one I gave a few years ago, passing around, starting the back of our chart. Oh, I left the charts at home. Okay. It's about illusion of our body and spirit, of our heart and soul. We are energy and spirit. Quote, if we look at the human body and go down the scale, we find cells, molecules, atoms, subatomic particles, and pure energy, unquote, by One Mind, One Energies. Richard Bach, who wrote the book Jonathan Livingston Seagull and Illusions. The main story is about Richard, the pilot, a free soul who travels offering short plane rides to people in remote places, and an illusionary messiah posing as a pilot named Donald Shimoda. Their conversations are illuminating, thought-provoking. I can't speak. I took a sleeping pill last night. That's what my problem is. Okay. The conversation is illuminating, provoking, and spiritual. Our bodies are an illusion. Our spirit is energy. Everything in the universe, which includes our world, enfolds us and radiates energy. Bach writes, I know there's a principle of spirit. If it works without space and time, and you and I live in space and
Cheryl. Good morning. This is gonna crack here. There we go. I don't know why. I'm just more comfortable with video on my move. I'm so happy to say good morning, neighbors. Tim and I moved here 4 weeks ago Friday, and we're still unpacking, but it's lovely. We've moved to just a magical home. It truly, truly is. Now, someday I'll tell you the story, Tim and I, our story, because we are a true love story. And this house is part of the unfoldment of that love story. We live on a magical street with magical neighbors, and we were talking about it and realized that, yes, unicorns do frolic here. I'm getting a little feedback. I'm wondering. And describing it to her. I had sent her some photos, but I wanted to, once everything's tidy, put away, I want to take photos and send them to her. And just talking about this amazing place with the maple tree in the front yard and the poplar trees, and it backs up to a ravine and a wooded lot, and there are deer and turkey and foxes and all kinds of birds. And here I am with the love of my life, this man whom I adore and who adores me and loves. We love each other unconditionally. And just as I was talking with her, I said, I just realized that my lifelong what if has become what is.
think about that. So those of us who are in metaphysics and in New Thought, how much of this, how many of us were brought here because of a book we read or somebody we heard on the radio or saw on TV, and something sparked in us and said, I want to learn how to do that. Some of us got here through recovery. Some of us got here through self-help groups, through reading self-help books. That's wonderful. It's the path that we took to be here in this space right now. And we can look around and realize, you know what? We no longer need those self-help books, do we? Do we really? We're here. We've discovered it. This is no longer a time of what if. It's a time of what is. So look what you created. Look around. Look at this building. I heard the story about the purchase of this space. And I know I've mentioned this before, but to be honest, there are very, very, very few Unity churches in the whole Unity movement as young as this one who have purchased their own building. You guys did that. The energy that's here did that. You created this. This is your what is. So I really want to thank Beverly for your words this morning because they're spot on. And I really want to thank the Unity of Appleton Band. You guys are awesome. Can we give a hand for these talented group of, seriously, I look forward to coming here just to be in this amazing, amazing space. Part of the daily word was talking about releasing the past and making room for the future. Releasing the past and making room for the now also, and that's where we are. When Tim and I were packing, when we were still down in South Milwaukee, I didn't realize that I had schlepped as much stuff across the country as I had 2 years ago because they were in bins and they were in the garage. I was like, oh my goodness. So I found some journals that were in there that, I'll be honest, I thought I had burned all of my journals through this period of my life. And while I can stand here in my what is and look at how wonderful and magical and unicorn-like everything is, the fact is, I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, like all of us are. There have been challenges, some very, very great challenges. I won't go into details, but I will say that Tim and I have we've been together 4 years officially. We've been married for a little over 2. We met 27 years ago. We were best friends, married to other people, but we were best friends. I mean, we were good folks. We didn't yet have kids. And he moved on to another job, and I stayed there for a while longer. This was in corporate America. And again, I'll tell our love story another time, but the fact is that we came together now. This was our time. Had we gotten together back in 1995, who knows what would have happened? But I know this is our time. Just like this home is our home. For years, we've been looking for a place. 3 years, we've been scouring online. Originally, we thought we were moving to Illinois, and then we started looking in Wisconsin, and we thought the Milwaukee area. What we didn't know is it was Appleton all along. And this beautiful congregation, you folks, my new friends, were here for me, and I've been seeking you. And we all came together at this time. Our home, our beautiful, cute little 81-year-old cottage was seeking us as its next caretakers, but it needed to unfold in its right time. So going back to those journals, I was rereading them, and I honestly, I like the burning process because you're letting things go back to spirit. It's almost like Native Americans, tradition is to burn the body, right? Because you're sending it back to the Great Spirit. And I feel that the energy is gone from those journals. I released it, I wrote it, and it's all been about release over the past several years. And what that contained was the letting go and releasing of a past marriage. There was a lot of pain that was there, the person who at one time sparked joy in my life, eventually sparked hurt. And I sparked hurt in his life, and I own that. So I journaled to work through these feelings and to record the messages that Spirit had given me. And underlying all of that pain and sadness, all those emotions, there was always Spirit guiding me, knowing that I had strength through prayer and meditation, guiding me, knowing that God, Spirit, the divine, was with me, holding me at all times. So the purpose of me calling my friend Reverend Mary is she knew my ex-husband back in California. They both helped start the Unity of Carlsbad Church back in the 80s, early 80s. And she and I didn't meet through him. We met, I just happened to wander into the Unity Church in Milwaukee one day when Tim and I were driving through, seeing if we wanted to live there. And Mary and I just hit it off. We knew all the same people, and it was just a wonderful connection. And I think of her as my other mom. And so the reason I was calling Reverend Mary is to let her know that my ex-husband, Ken, had passed away earlier that morning. So this message is actually dedicated to Ken Harrison. And I was on Facebook looking at all the messages that were left for him. He was very active. He also grew up in Unity. He was very active in the Youth of Unity movement as a young man in the International Youth of Unity back in the 70s. He helped form what was then called the Young Adults of Unity, which was supposed to be the college-aged group, but folks didn't want to end once college was over, so they just kept going and going and going. And that group has a different name now, and these people are still going. They're in their 70s. They've been going for 50 years, so it's kind of cool. Ken was very active in local politics in California. He had a radio show. He was an MC for all of the local parades and events, a very community-minded person. We have two sons together, Johnny, who's 24, Trevor, who's 21, and they grew up through Scouts. And so Ken had never done anything past a couple of years as a Cub Scout, but he ended up becoming the, what's called the Cub Scout master, whatever, the leader of that group. So anything that he went towards civically, he did the best. He was a writer. He wrote for local newspapers and that sort of thing. He created something in California, in this Southwest region, so it's Southern California, Arizona, and Nevada, called the Alhambra Foundation. There was an older church. The neighborhood had changed. They had a building that was built back in the 50s. Rather than just selling it, they made a foundation with that money, and that foundation allowed there to be a kids camp every year, and for people in the Southwest region to attend ministerial school and so on. The reason I'm saying all of this is this was a dynamic man, and our time together had shifted and changed, and it was time to move on. And rather than the anger that is at the end of a marriage, that's at the end of anything that we have. Every relationship, every job, everything must come to an end. And it was painful for a while. But I realized with Ken's passing 2 weeks ago that I have released that through the strength of God, through the strength of my divinity, through the people who are around me, and looking beyond where I am in this moment and projecting out to where do I want to be? What is the feeling that I want to have? Because being in that yucky stuff, that's not fun. But what is the feeling? So again, looking at that what if, that pure potential that we all have. What if? Everything around us is an illusion, as Richard Bach says. And we live in a state of illusion. Esther Hicks, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Abraham. Okay, so Esther Hicks and her husband, whose name I'm drawing a blank on right now, Jerry Hicks. There were 5 phases of manifestation according to Abraham. And those of you who don't know about it, I'll let you go find a book or find it online, because it really is powerful, and it aligns very much with what we believe in unity. But the first phase is to have that emotion. Now, oftentimes we believe that things have to change before we're happy. Things have to change before we feel joy. Again, I'm drawing a blank on the lovely young lady who's the organizer. You know, you pick something up, does this spark joy? Mari, I can't think what it is, but the whole thing is like, does this spark joy? If it doesn't, you release it, you let it go, right? So if you're in a relationship, does this spark joy? We all know you've got 3 decisions to make. This is a whole nother talk, but you can accept things the way they are, you can change them, or you can move on. That's it. It's the only changes we have. So we look at the people around us. Do they spark joy? Well, if they don't, what is my job to do in that relationship? How can I change? What is the emotion I choose to have with that person, with that situation, with that space that I'm in? Once that emotion is felt, then the ideas come through. So we choose the emotion first. Rather than making everything around us change, we kind of flip that. We inverse it a little bit. And through prayer and meditation, daily practice, I've had so many people tell me, I can't meditate. Why not? Well, I just can't clear my mind. Who says you have to clear your mind? Who says you need to be in the full lotus position and repeating your mantra and chanting? No, your meditation is simply calming and calming yourself. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. It could be just for a moment to check in with your inner self. Pay attention to those emotions, what sparks joy and what needs to be released. The third phases of manifestation is rendezvous. I love that word, rendezvous with nature. Get out in nature, even if it's just stepping out of your front door, whether it's raining or sunny or snowy. Look around. Look around us. We live in this magical place called Earth. How many of you are familiar with the things that are happening in space right now with this new James Webb telescope? There are galaxies out there that we've known of, those scientists have known of, but haven't really seen. And this amazing telescope, I don't know all of the ins and outs. I've read the articles, but I'm not there yet. We are so small, if you will, when you look at this universe, beyond the universe, whatever's, to infinity and beyond, as Buzz Lightyear would say. We are so infinitesimal. We're so tiny, but we are so large because we are all connected. We are all connected. And when you see, if we just get a glimpse of what's past our small problems, it alone is miraculous. So whether it's looking at what's out there through the telescopes or looking at the bird in your backyard and seeing the bird, how it acts, how it interacts with its world around us. Number 4 is to look for the helpful people and the helpful situations, because they're there if we allow it. Now, my husband, Tim, a lot of this, he knows this. We used to have philosophical discussions back in 95 and 96 about this, but he didn't have the language because he didn't go to a Unity Church. But he believes this, he understands this. So when we decided to drive up to Wisconsin that one day, and I'm actually on the phone with my son, and I'm like, look at this, and it was Wauwatosa. It was that area of these beautiful houses, and my son calls, and Tim says, there's a Unity Church. I said, wait, what? So hung up with my son, and we were he was ready to walk the dogs. We had 3 of them at that time. And so he got out, and I went inside, and that's where I met Reverend Mary. And things just clicked. And Reverend Mary offered me a job at the Unity Church in Milwaukee. And I said, okay, well, you know what? I'll think about it. This was very shortly before COVID hit, about 5 months. So afterwards, Tim and I went and got some lunch, and he goes, did that really just happen? Did you just walk into a place and meet somebody, and you were in there half an hour? I thought you got lost. But that's how it happens. She was a helpful person. When we moved here to Wisconsin, she and her husband took us in. We just happened to meet a realtor calling on a house that was for sale that had already sold. And he said, well, you know what? I have a rental house, and the tenants just gave notice. It'll be ready in a couple of weeks. So we moved in. He took us. He'd never rented a house to dogs. And he had 3 dogs, or we had 3 dogs that he allowed us to have. So things just kept clicking like this, even to our home, even to finding out about the Unity Church in Appleton. I'd heard so much about you when I was in Milwaukee. So look for the helpful people in situations, because they are there. And before you know it, step 5 is the physical manifestation. All of a sudden you look around and you realize, my what if, those emotions, those first thoughts, those ideas become what is. They become what is. Now some may say, well, look what's happening in the news. Look what's happening in the world. Okay, even understand that's the news, that's sensationalism. They call it the news because it's out of the ordinary. It's the extraordinary in a not so good way oftentimes. Within that negativity, just like within the journals that I was writing about, the things I needed to let go, those are things, it's negative energy, lower energy. It's time to let go. Because even in things that are happening that we don't agree with or we don't like, guess what? There are helpful people out there who are willing to step forward for the change, to help those people who we believe have been shut off from certain things. There are people who've been waiting for that opportunity to step forward. This is their time. This is their calling. They're listening to that guidance, whether they want to call it, their divine self or God or whatever it is. They know within them they're supposed to step up, and that's what they're doing. So there's no reason to fret or fear. We're okay right where we are. I was watching an episode of, I think the last time I was here 2 times ago, I was talking about the shows that we watch on TV. We don't get real new TV. We're watching a 20-year-old show called The West Wing. And there was one episode on there where the characters were playing chess. And one of the things that was said was to look at the whole board. Okay, so here's this young man who could play chess, but he was making stupid moves. And the president, played by Martin Sheen, said, look at the whole board. Look at the whole board. So that's where we are right now. We can see elements in our life and not understanding what the next move is. It's called board vision. Okay, so if we practice having what's called board vision, which is the ability, I had to look this up to see exactly what the definition was, the ability to see how the pieces move and interact on the chessboard. This skill is a critical part of the player's chess foundation. And I love this. One of the best ways to develop board vision is by playing lots and lots of games. So we're playing lots and lots of games right now. Are we willing to step back and have board vision for our lives? At one point, we can look around and say, well, would you look at that? Here it is. Here it is. And so Ken Harrison, my first husband, was a wonderful person. We did not have, our relationship had developed into something that was different, but he was a great dad and a loving, kind man. And if you were to look up his Facebook page, you would see all of these amazing things said about him from a wide variety of people. And he was an amazing Sunday morning speaker as well. And I feel his presence here. And it's just like, wow, would you look at that? Look how far we've come. Look how far we've come. Look what is. And wherever you are, God is. One more exercise I'd like you to help me with here. There's a saying that my friend Mark uses in his seminars, and it goes like this. Look around where you are right now in life and say, how does it get better than this? There's a couple of different ways you can look at that. How does it get better than this? Or, how does it get better than this? And then it's fun playing with this. And I can't remember what this exercise is called, where you emphasize each word in a sentence. So, how does it get better than this? So practice that with me. We're going to say that together for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Okay, that's really going to get into your subconscious, all right? So wherever you are in this moment, how does it get better than this? Okay, so let's just say, how does it get better than this? Now let's emphasize how. How does it get better than this? 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 And that's what I'll leave you with. God bless you all.
I now invite you to begin to prepare yourself for reflective personal prayer and guided musical meditation, after which I ask that you remain in silence during the music. If you choose to, you may close your eyes. Feel the weight of your body as it relaxes into your chair, and you let go of today's anxieties. Feel your feet on the solid earth beneath as you let go of tomorrow's worries. Become aware in this moment of your breathing as you breathe in life and breathe out love. Breathe in life, breathe out love. And as you become centered, focus your attention on your beautiful heart, your beautiful Christ self. Become filled with gratitude and allow into yourself that which fills you with peace and light. So we begin. Now, I invite you to gently return to this place.
Yeah, go. It's not fair to have to speak after that. I just want to keep on going. Okay. Now, we move from meditation to our affirmation of prosperity. This is a time in our service where those of us who think of Unity of Appleton as our spiritual home practice putting spirit first in the financial life. We know that when we do this, not only does it prosper the spiritual community we love, it also supports our own spiritual growth and prosperity. Let this be a time to connect with guidance of Spirit in you and give whatever amount Spirit guides you to give. Whatever that amount is this morning, take it in your hand and bless it with your love. If you are one of the growing number of us who give electronically, take the gift into your heart. Feel free to bless the plate as it passes by. Let yourself feel as grateful as you can to God in you as your one source. Then please join us in our affirmation of prosperity. Unity of Appleton is alive with the energy and spirit in the flow of divine abundance and radiant with unlimited possibilities. And our celebration of giving and receiving, divine love in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I joyfully give and willingly receive. I give in love, and I trust God as my source.
This moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love, love that heals, love that sets us free.
We've each given individually or part of an individual family. Now it's time to receive this gift as a spiritual community. In the spirit of divine order, we are grateful for these and other gifts on our continuing path of prosperity and service, and so it is. Oh, here we go. Announcements. Spiritual Social Action Team update. The first meeting was Thursday night. We look forward to hearing all their ideas to promote unity in our community. See the unity at the end of that? You can still sign up if you are interested. Please email unityofappleton.org or sign up today at the Connect and Serve table in the back. Food Waste Composting Workshop. Learn from Clean Water Action Council President Dean Hager how to compost food waste at home and how it benefits the environment. Tuesday, August 9th, it's only 2 days from now, from 7 to 8 p.m., held at Unity of Appleton, 1366 Appleton Road, Menasha. Limited number of composters available at the event for $60. To purchase, go to cleanwateractioncouncil.org. This is a free event. Donations welcome. The sound immersion event with Karen Pugels has been rescheduled for Sunday, August 28th at 7 p.m. Mark your calendars. Please reserve your spot by emailing unity@appleton.org. And now for the prayer protection. You can say it with me, please. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.